steps out of it. Chukwueze hits it, ricochet up the heels unwittingly. Alessandro Martinez before is expertly put home by Quenker. VAR yet to confirm it, but Fulham hoping that this will be Jorge Quenker's first ever goal for the club. I mean, maybe multiple moments where could be offside. This one here, he's having an effort to goal. Is Quenker offside? I think initially maybe. Chukwueze may have been offside himself. We'll have a bit to work through here, the officials. So they are checking about offside. Speed. Just waiting to utilise the semi-automatic offside system, which will aid the decision here as they do for these tight calls. Someone I initially thought may be offside, but sure may. And unwittingly have kept Queasy offside. Then there's the decision by the goal scorer and whether he just drifted into an offside position. It's going to be big for the game. Plenty of disallowed goals in this stadium in recent times. The last home match here, the Manchester Derby, Manchester United, 3 goals disallowed. Maguire, Fernandes and Mount all on the ball on the back of the net, but it didn't count. Manchester United be the beneficiaries of a disallowed goal here. Big moment in the game this, because if Fulham can get it back to a 1-goal deficit, that will give them great encouragement and belief, and it might just start to produce a few questions in the back of the minds of the Manchester United players. But you feel if the goal is disallowed, it will only reinforce the feeling of superiority that Manchester United currently hold. Yeah, absolutely. It must be close at the time that it's taken. The initial reaction from seeing it live was that it seemed it's all going to be onside. I haven't seen the replays back. Maybe he's just got about half a yard, maybe even less offside. It's what the officials and the VAR are there for, to check these kind of decisions. Agonising wait for Marco Silva, but they've got to get it right. There is a lot riding on this. Bird is coming back from the VAR, and this goal is not going to stand. Samuel Chukwueze is adjudged to have been offside in the build-up. And then, just quite quick does not stand. This one from Silva, stuck to the chin for Jorge Quenker. He must wait for his first ever full goal. Could be that both Chukwueze and Quenker were each in offside positions at various stages there. It was all extremely tight, but that is the verdict from the technology. Doesn't matter how tight it is. You need one offside as well, but both players to be offside. I did initially think, seeing the first replay, that Chukwueze drifted offside then. And I thought Quenker looked even more offside. The officials do have to check it. It was close and big moment in the game. Manchester United delighted to keep their clean sheet. Just wonder now, how will that set Fulham back? Will it set Fulham back, or will it inspire them to go forward more? Certainly would have recharged Fulham's batteries, and they made it 2-1. As it is, it will be an encouragement that they can go and trouble this Manchester United defence. Here is Smith Rowe, Tony Robinson, hanging it in, Castagna, James Cunha back there, and that's going to be a free kick to Manchester United. So let's just wrap it all up here about the Jorge Quenker goal. This is the semi-offside. We talk about tight margins. Wow, it's tight, no doubt about that. But the assistant referee is there to judge that. I was zooming in on Quenker. I think that was actually the decision on Chukwueze, the initial on the first one. So Ryan Sessegnon is introduced, Emil Smith Rowe making way, Kevin also coming on in a double change for Fulham. Actually, Robertson, the other who has departed. So Simeon, Kevin on, Smith Rowe and Robertson off. So looks like it means a change of position. So Wazy will come over to this right-hand side of the pitch, go up against Luke Shaw. Kevin and Session will operate on a usually new left side of the field for Fulham. Is he winning the ball? Mateus Cunha, then Mateus Cunha. So back again is Casemiro. Diogo Dalot. Luke Shaw's the target here. Mateus Cunha. Fernandes trying to bring the Cunha. See how sides of Cunha blocked by Cuenca. Activity down in the Manchester United technical area as well. We believe that Benjamin Šeško is getting ready for his introduction. Kobe Maynard. Casemiro. Stretching on to Casemiro. Just like footwork from a man. Trying to force his way into the penalty area. Kevin clears. Brilliant from Ahmad. Far side of the pitch, lovely dancing feet on, up against newly on Session. Diogo Dalot, solving Mateus Cunha Wallace. Derek Cole really won't put this to bed now. That's the side of the pitch where Manchester United have had all their joy. I think they get overloads down there. Ahmad runs long, I think Bruno operates in pockets, I think Cunha wants to come in and play in that particular area, right over onto the far side of the pitch. It's going to be Mateus Cunha's final action of the game. He scored Manchester United's second goal to allow the introduction of Benjamin Šeško, but this was the big moment from Mateus Cunha today. He wants to operate it, play on that right foot. It's it beautifully. Scored against Fulham in each of the last two seasons for his old team Wolves. And Mateus Cunha departs feeling that set his teammates up for a victory today. James White, England. Casemiro's going to get it standing up in your field. Not just for scoring. For instance, the all he's given to Manchester United midfield today. It's maybe agent. Time isn't, his ability to affect games isn't, his desire to go and affect games isn't. Very cool. I got Manchester United off the mark. A wonderful no-look assist for the second. It's not a particularly good day. Scored one, set up the other, covered every blade of grass on the pitch. But now the introduction of fresh legs from Manuel Ugarte as Michael Carrick looks to see this through. We made it. Bruno Fernandes. And Šeško first touch and over the top. It's an introduction that could have been for the Slovenian. Probably wish this opportunity came 5 minutes later now, considering he hasn't put it away, but he should anyway. Really should have, despite it being his first touch. It's wonderfully left on his head. Just has to direct it goalwards. So close that couldn't have done much about it. 3 goals in his last 3 appearances for Benjamin Šeško. Introduction that could have been to the game. Here is Ugarte. And Harry Maguire. Stania. Harry Maguire. Shaw. She's coming around. Shaw was always looking outfield. Turning away from tempting to pick up Bruno Fernandes. Now there's a bit of space for Kevin. Just it's outside of the right to the back of the line. He didn't get the free kick he wanted at the end of that. And for the exhausted from the amount of work he's just done in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Into the field, sprinting forward, sprinting back, just calculating something that is new about this Manchester United outlook. There's a feel of hard work first and foremost about this team. Being told that the reason Casemiro was replaced was because he didn't pick up a knock in the game. It's Kevin. Away thanks to him, but down with for the take this. It is a corner kick for the visitors. They were able to score from this set piece. There's enough time to worry this Manchester United crowd and team. Just feel they need real quality, real desire, like Casemiro showed in the first half, to go and win this first contact. Keep guessing, two standing over it. It's struck by Iwobi. It's punched by Alves. Just another advantage. Price is giving it away to Šeško. Šeško, that's going to be a free kick to Manchester United. And clear ball from the referee because Šeško tried to stay on his feet. So the lunge from Sessegnon. He came back and ordered the free kick. So on comes Stojani in place of Samuel Chukwueze. Chukwueze, who was deemed to be in the offside position, top of your screen there. That was the offside, because that one happened before Cuenca. They take it in order of occurrence. That's the reason why the goal was disallowed, but Cuenca would have been off as well. I did feel that Cuenca was probably a bit more offside Chukwueze, but this was the all-important one. Manchester United will tell you it's because they held a really good line. Tiny margins, and another day it might well have given renewed hope to Fulham. Kenny on for what is his 16th appearance in the Premier League this season. Scored an equaliser against Crystal Palace on New Year's Day. Quick to Joachim Anderson. Sandro Martinez. Firmino. Manchester United will be at home again next weekend. They host Spurs here at Old Trafford. It's back-to-back away games, West Ham and then Everton. Continue. So it will be a winning start. Did not just beat him to the byline. There's no flag for the assistant. Manchester United player. Swagger. It's right. From Shaw. He's stretched that string as far as it will go. Listen. Congratulates. Turnaround in Manchester United's fortunes at the moment. It's that man, Kobe Mainoo, out of favour than the previous management, and arguably the United's most important players in the last 3 games. We talk about swagger and influence and desire to get on the ball. He's right at the forefront of your mind. Kobe Mainoo brought back in from the cold, and all of Manchester United enjoy the warmth that he's been bringing to the midfield over the past almost 3 games now. Oh, Maguire won't get their head around. It is, and Lovins touches it away again. And search for the Mexican, but he couldn't produce the final touch. Brilliant last-ditch defending. Registrel. Jimenez had to head that goalwards. Maybe volley it goalwards. I didn't think he was going to have enough time in the penalty area. Stepping backwards with the ball around his hips to be able to bring that down and hit it. Had to be a first-time effort. No time to waste for the visitors here. Harry Wilson ready to take the corner kick. It's Anderson. Fulham wants another corner, and they will get it. Big trying to give himself time. Not sure he even saw who that came off. After all, I think it was Anderson header, but behind the feet to Sanderberg. Swinger. He's ready to strike in with the ball when it came to it. Just put up and it's looking to launch a counter attack. This is interesting. Get Bobo after it, but sweep the keeper. Quite frankly, anywhere to once he realised he was that far out of his penalty area. As soon as they won the ball back, Bobo just set off. Just believing somebody will try and play the ball through to him. Even a wrong pass. Ended up forcing a throw in for Manchester United. Skinner's goal in the first half, Mateus Cunha's goal in the second half. Manchester United striding towards a third win in a row. Copy made it. Shishko. Gante tries to win it back, but it's just Sessegnon. Kenny. Bobby. Sanderberg, nicely done. Jimenez just made a good run, he's in around the back of Harry Maguire. And Lemons to the rescue again. And the referee points to the spot, it's going to be a penalty. Jimenez fouled as he tried to get the shot away. Yellow card shown to Harry Maguire. And a bit of late drama at Old Trafford. With 7 minutes of normal time to play, Fulham have a penalty. Harry Maguire's questioning it. See it again. I don't think he can. It was good play from Fulham. They were back to front, but Jimenez threw on goal in that moment. And once Jimenez has the opportunity to shoot him for 11's, goalkeeper makes the save, but that dive from Maguire, that contact after the ball had been played was probably significant enough to actually cause Fulham striker Jimenez some damage, and in that moment you're not allowed to challenge like that anymore. You're really not allowed to lunge and miss the ball and make significant contact with the striker. And that's why the penalty kick was given. Video assistant referee has signed off on all of this. They have dotted the I's and crossed the T's. It is a penalty kick. Fulham won a penalty shootout here at Old Trafford last season in the FA Cup. Jimenez is ready to take the responsibility here to try and bring this game back to one goal between the teams and set up an exciting finish. We've saved 4 penalties last season in Belgium. A stuttering run up, and he puts it to the roof of the net. And Fulham are ready to give this everything now to try and pursue Manchester United's newly narrowed lead. It's a brilliantly accurate penalty. Few stutters in the build-up to that contact on the penalty kick. Take away anything from where he wanted to place it. Goalkeeper had no chance. Such was the stutter run up here. The video assistant referee actually looked at this because you're not supposed to stop your run once you begin it. Raul Jimenez just about leaning forward at all times there, keeping up some sense of forward momentum, so the goal does stand. Well taken in the circumstances, he was cool as ice there. He didn't question the stutter. He didn't question the accuracy of where he put it. Mohammed's full stretch went early enough, just couldn't go anywhere near it. Did wonder if Fulham got a goal back. Opportunity to get something from the game. Tell now, time will tell. So on comes Lucien Mazraoui. Took him on as a late summit Arsenal last Sunday. That was his first Premier League appearance since early December. Had been away in the African Cup of Nations with Morocco. Only comes in place of Diogo Dalot. As you can see, Quinke is going to be replaced here late on by Calvin Bassey. Bassey, who half the goals he's ever scored in his career have come here at Old Trafford against Manchester United. He doesn't score many, but when he does, they're as likely to come here as anywhere else. Why wouldn't you put him on?
Quinke's had a good game defensively. You're going to push forward and get opportunities. Probably won't, Bassey, in the Manchester United penalty area.
So he's got 4 for Fulham, but 2 of them here against the support. Interesting to see what's going to be added on, because we've had quite a few delays late on the second half. The video assistant referees have been busy. We added on. Here's Kelvin sitting on the ground for the first time since his introduction. Sessegnon gives it back to Awarby. Fulham have been rewarded here for not giving up, for continuing to plug away. They are still in this.
Be interested to see how quickly they try and push forward. They show real patience, so whether they try and throw everything at Manchester United right now. Wait to see, as you mentioned, Connor. Injury time or added on time will be at the end of the game.
Sunderberger. Sorry, Manchester United just twitching in the so slightly in their seats. Kenny. Bassey. Sessegnon. Kevin. Penalty around Sessegnon. Delivering straight away. He's not been able to fully clear. The man is under pressure. He reaches to manhandle himself to recapture the ball and to clear the ball.
And again, defending exactly what is happening to both ends of the pitch.
French making a lot of the noise now. Comes away to our right hand side on their left goal, but their team are attacking. Kevin shows too much to Mancity.
Such frustrated. Team aren't able to get out, but it's at the wall at the moment for Manchester United. Back 6 as it stands.
Last weekend, Fulham's winner against Brighton came in stoppage time at the very end for Harry Wilson. St Reed scored a dramatic late equaliser against Liverpool. Now Fulham seeking a late goal at Old Trafford. Kevin. Manchester United still a bit of presence in midfield since Jesse Munoz got off. Sunderberger. Sessegnon. To the shoulder. That was a director. Sheshko. Manchester United can do a bit of midfield. Sheshko gets the throw in for his team.
Back for Sheshko. Manchester United done a lot of defending in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Pleased to get the shape again. To get people into the correct positions, be able to get a bit of possession of the ball.
Gante. He looks like an Castagna. He doesn't judge the match here, but he does run the Belgian. Kenny. Able to pick out just Mansarawi. Fantastic goals to Fulham into stoppages we go. For the 19 we've already had today. Another 9 to play.
Plenty of time for Fulham. Trust the number Manchester United we're looking to see. Concentration's level high defensively, but seeing them score late goals themselves on the counter-attack, Manchester United.
Cisnion, back to Kevin again. Towards the top corner, and he finds it. And Fulham pull it out of the frames again. It's another late stoppage time goal from Marco Silva's team. Only a moment ago they were 2-0 down. How they've turned it around, and Manchester United's lead is gone.
I can't believe it. Oh, this man certainly can't. What a finish that was. Just felt Fulham were pushing forward and growing in confidence. Manchester United just getting deeper and deeper. Not able to make contact with Fulham anymore. Moving the ball as they wanted to, finding gaps and spaces. But you've still got to finish it. And this was brilliant. Cuts inside, lovely little 1-2, touching. Of accuracy, opportunity. But it just doesn't get close enough. From this moment, the goalkeeper's got absolutely no chance. Brilliant finish.
So made to score his first ever Premier League goal. Kevin, who scored against Michael Carrick's old club Middlesbrough in the FA Cup, is placed to perfection. And Marco Silva, what looked to be a lost cause, is very much alive and kicking again for Fulham. It was coming. Manchester United had retreated into a shell somewhat, and Fulham in to smash their way back to 2-2.
Credit to Marco Silva. Made substitutions, made changes, positive ones. Ones that have actually affected the game. And more so than the goal scorer. It's an introduction. Say the goals are finished, Connor.
Even more time added on now after those celebrations. Is there time for either of these teams to go in trouble? And Kevin Gold has certainly dampened the noise from the Manchester United fans, but they might roll it. Bruno Fernandes picks up Benjamin Sesko! It's the spirit of fighting time! Simply over till it's over! Comes in his last 4 appearances for Benjamin Sesko! Manchester United kept their heaviest blow till the very, very end!
Just felt that this game had more to offer. Felt it wasn't done. Manchester United found an answer and a response to what the equaliser months ago. Thrown on Bruno Fernandes' quality. The ball's played forward. Lovely step home and does pass it all ends up, and then question striker's decision at the other end of the pitch 10 minutes ago. The ball is played and he should take a touch, whether he had the time and space to do so. There's no doubt that Sesko did. He makes the right choice. Sets himself with his first touch, knows where the goal is. Hits it brilliantly. Keeper got no chance. And Manchester United, this stadium just erupted.
You mentioned the no-look pass from Casemiro earlier. That's a no-look finish for Benjamin Sesko. From the moment he receives possession, he never once looked at the target. He instinctively knew where that top corner was. What a moment from Benjamin Sesko! So a difficult start to his Manchester United career, but he is being lauded as a hero at Old Trafford right now.
What leads to the victory? Stadium wants them. Absolutely will. Crucial moment. Looking for a striker who needs one or two of those moments in his Manchester United career. Means to him what it means to the crowd of the club. It's a brilliant response. And so strikers shouldn't need to know and look up to see where the goals are. They just know. And that won't be certainly did.
2 minutes 18 seconds between the goals. Marco Silva's joy at getting it back to 2-2 was to be short-lived. Many Euro holiday place in Brian in Bermuda. Carrick, having seen his team allow a 2-goal lead to slip in He's going to absolutely batten down the hatches now to protect this 3-2 advantage. Who knows what's left to be added on here? It was originally due to be 9 minutes. We've had 2 goals scored in this stoppage time period already. It's going to be
Puts a finish, will it? So they might put it past another one in the game. At back line, you do feel they look a little bit more organised than they did before to try and defend it. Certainly happened, the scores on the bench.
She got a 16 total. A roller coaster of emotion. Manchester United, who were so deflated as Fulham made it 2-2. Fulham riding on a crest of a wave at that stage. Yet Benjamin Šeško puncturing that inflated feeling that Fulham briefly, ever so briefly held. She's Kenny to Wilson, straight to Wilson. Just trying to step.
It really is backs to the wall. Manchester United just don't feel like they're showing much desire to really break from this block now.
Will be working in this important challenge now. Even if it's best. Second desire. Still time for Fulham to do it again. You can sense the nerves, the hush around Old Trafford now. Anderson, Castagna, Central Martinez. It's important back to me, knowing moments to step out and go and defend in the right areas. Castagna, Sissio, just again. Sherman still out as they call downstairs. To the screen from Central Martinez. There's a look. Torino into Blodges. And again, Kevin towards passing. Kenny. Sancho. Is that something out of it?
70,000. Somewhere that one. It's probably short. It's TV. Just so I have more seconds to tick off the clock.
A few weeks it has been. Manchester United. Problems for outweighing the pedigree. Something in the manner of this. The Manchester United's heritage is being heard again. Wilson. Diaz, anywhere will do. Slides to go on. Provided steep hurdle to jump over today. Manchester United on a third Premier League win succession. Once under Ruben Amorim did Manchester United win 3 Premier League games in a row. So it becomes the question to Kevin given to Fulham.
Situations to make that a reality. Simon, it's a big statement to say. 3 games on a run. Carrick couldn't do that in his first 3 games in charge.
Fantastic player. Kevin to Casemiro. Giving up. Back to Castagna inside to the centre Martinez. That's brilliant defending play.
He's got just showed such composure and quality. Players to go through on goal. And then Bruno Fernandes completely unmarked on halfway line.
Yeah, says referee John Brooks. Scored to win it. Second down, 2-0. Entertainment has been an outsider today. And it is back into Michael Carrick. 3 in a row as Manchester United reel in the years and turn back the clock. 7 Premier League games unbeaten now. First time that's happened in 4 years. The start of February, Manchester United look back to their old selves. Kevin, who thought he had sprung a surprise, the late equaliser for 2-2. Casemiro, who sent Manchester United on their way. Here in February, the shortest month, Manchester United ready to continue the biggest adventure. Late drama, as Old Trafford so often provides, as Manchester United beat Fulham by 3 goals to 2 in the end. That's what you want to see happen.
Of course, and I think every substitution Michael Carrick's made up to this point has been positive. He wants more goals, he wants his team to be excited, he wants his team to be on the front foot, not sit back and sort of wage your way through games. And that was the United performance today. I thought they started brightly, I thought they looked dangerous every time they went forward, and certainly deserved to be up and ahead at half time, but Fulham responded. Fulham came back. They were unfortunate in the moment, probably. They'll fail to go 2-0 down, but to fought their way back to 2-2 in injury time, feel like they've got something from the game. They'll be really frustrated that they couldn't hang on. But again, back to Manchester United, as this game did, it's gone so far either way. United found a way of winning. They found some character, they found desire, they found quality in that crucial moment. Not to just dwell on the fact that they could potentially have drawn the game 2-0 up. A real hunger to go and make it a reality, to turn that back into a victory. That sums up the mindset since this man took charge. It's a real positive start to his United career. 3 wins out of 3. He did that once himself in his time. See, down to this guy's performance, Casemiro, centre of everything while he was on the pitch. But there's your match winner. A wonderful finish to a wonderful game.
Fernandes with another couple of assists, confirming him as the assist king in the Premier League this season, more than any other player for any team. He set up Casemiro's opener. He set up the winning moment. Benjamin Šeško, Manchester United, who gave their fans a bit of a scare, conceding a goal for 2-2 in stoppage time at the very end. For Michael Carrick, who's been able to tap in to the history, to the DNA of this club.
As well, upwardly mobile and above their West London neighbours Fulham into 7th spot in the standings after this. Aston Villa 0, Brentford 1, the full-time score. Well, what an afternoon so far. We still, of course, have Spurs against Manchester City to come very shortly. But the momentum goes on under Michael Carrick. Must have thought it was about to be lost when that 2-goal lead disappeared, only for Šeško to snatch it in stoppage time. He remains understandably at the centre of the celebrations. Old Trafford breathing again. The feel-good factor continues. Casemiro and Cunha had put them in charge before that formidable Fulham response. Ultimately, though, the Cottagers just falling short. Stephen finished here. Manchester United 3, Fulham 2.
Phil, thank you very much indeed. Yes, 3 wins out of 3 for Michael Carrick there into the top 4 above Chelsea and Liverpool. Heartache for Fulham, who gained so much to come back from 2 down to 2-2. Benjamin Šeško's 5th goal for Manchester United, his first winning one. What a moment. And the Reds roll on, Michael. Wow. Everything that man touches turns to gold at the moment. Substitutions, last minute goals, drama. 9 points out of 9. Fantastic for Manchester United. Keep snowballing on and he'll want that momentum to continue. It was a decent enough performance. Fulham are playing well at the moment. Deserve to get back into the game. Šeško not done much in his Manchester United career just yet, but that was a huge moment for him. Yeah, and being pushed forward there by his managers to take the acclaim. I mean, people keep saying it feels like the olden days. That certainly did at Old Trafford, Julian.
Yeah, definitely. And you've seen the reaction, the celebrations when he scored. The whole bench, not just because it was so late, just because what he was thinking. Michael Carrick starts to manage really.
So Manchester United 9 points out of 9 under Michael Carrick and into the top 4. We'll review all that in a moment, and of course preview the huge games still to come. Spurs against Manchester City at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But before that, the reaction to yet another late dramatic show at Old Trafford. Fulham heartbroken, Manchester United. Go on.
Choose when you can have both. Nivea Men Deep Body Lotion, powered by black carbon for 48-hour moisture and a long-lasting dark wood fragrance. Skin is for playing it smart. Nivea is for skin. Try new Nivea Men Deep Extreme with a fresh, energizing fragrance.
2014. I remember like it was yesterday. The game meant so much to us. Rona, hunger for success, and our passion, no bounds. When the DSTV Disney Challenge emerged, what a pivotal moment in South African football. It was as if the universe answered our prayers and gave us a platform to showcase our skills on and off the field.
China flips at it, falls at it. Glorious Bogazi. Ronald Williams, sentimental key. He's trusted on design attack serves and Sophistication from the 18-year-old Costa Tapanamana with the goal already in this tournament. If I praise
Brought to you by Toyota. Lead the way. You want football that's absolutely unforgettable. Football with no respect for ranking or history.
for the first time in their history.
Then you want the Epic. It's knockout. Starting this channel, it's on Super Sport. Proudly brought to you by Sporting Bet. Betting amplified. Are you ready?
Yes, Daddy.
Happy birthday. Cheers.
Scotland Bank and Kia.
First takes the field at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I remember they've won just twice in the Premier League under Thomas Frank. They have beaten today's opponents, Manchester City, already this season. That is less than 20 minutes to kick off. Old Trafford still digesting another dramatic end. 3 wins out of 3 of the Michael Carrick, courtesy of this moment in the 93rd minute of the Slovenian striker, Benjamin Šeško.
Ben, how much did you enjoy that?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Scoring at home, the winner, it's unbelievable. I've been dreaming about it, that I can do that, and yeah, it's unbelievable.
What does it mean to you? What kind of boost does it give you in front of the Stretford end? This is what the Stretford end want to see.
No, it's I think not just for me, for a whole team. It's just really important, especially because we're in a really great row now, and just hoping and wishing that we can believe, work harder like that, and win games.
But it's another late winner, isn't it? It's another 3-2.
Yeah, and again, it's unbelievable. I'm really happy that I can help team like that, and that we can continue our streak now.
Talking to Harry Maguire when Michael Carrick returned to the club, he was saying that Michael said to you guys, just go out and enjoy yourself, just play with that freedom, enjoy playing for Manchester United.
No, it's true. He's saying this many times, and that's exactly what we're doing. But it's not just that. Also, like without the ball, you can see how much we work hard together, which leads to the great results in the end. Yes, he certainly does. 94th minute, the official noting of his 5th Manchester United goal, his first winning one. He scored 2 Premier League goals under Ruben Amorim, and since Ruben Amorim left, he scored 3. Just putting it out there, Michael, but he's certainly getting the love, isn't he? And he's had the moment he's been dreaming of. Yeah, that'll do him no end of good. It's not easy when you come. It's such a high price tag. Everybody's looking at you. Everybody knows that's a problem position for so long. It doesn't start well. The team's not playing that well. How many times have we said that over the last few years? Manchester United's number 9 has been a difficult position to fill. And then he goes and does this lovely first touch. Defender just comes across him and gives him a lovely little area to bend it round. And it's a beautiful swivel finish, great touch. Bends, curls it into that far corner. Goalkeeper gets nowhere near and cue the celebrations. But you can't help but feel really pleased for the lad. You know, when you see him struggling, it's not a nice thing. You know, it's I bet he's desperate for that moment, and it's coming. Hopefully, that can really kickstart his Manchester United. You made a really good point. You look at those pictures, even the substitutes running over to him.
Yeah, I think that's what Michael's alluding to there, is that you can't help but want him to do well. I'm sure that's what the squad wanted. I'm sure he's working extremely hard in training, and again, that is not a finish off someone that's full of confidence. That's someone that knows what he's doing. It's not a real chance for everyone unless you're a striker and a forward that knows where the goal is. And said fair play to him for being consistent with his approach.
Michael Carrick said he wanted to build confidence and momentum. Well, these 3 results are a giant stride towards that, aren't they? It's priceless, isn't it? There's just, confidence is something that you can't, you can't get without playing well. You can't get without scoring. And then it's sort of just, as soon as it triggers, it just starts rolling, and it's hard to explain how it comes and how quickly you can lose it as well. But the results, of course, going to bring that. The performance is going to bring that. Scoring last-minute goals is going to bring an added dimension. I mean, the feeling around the dressing room when you score a last-minute goal, and then that carries you throughout the week. So now Manchester United know it's almost it's like back in the day when Manchester United, when you got to the 90th minute, you're thinking, Manchester United are going to score now in view of the opposition. But that's gone for the last few years, really, and all of a sudden now, Manchester United, they can score. They'll be thinking, every time now they'll be thinking, we can score in the last few minutes to win the game again. So that's another incredible string to add to your bow. Yeah, and Manchester United's next game, next Saturday, is against Michael Carrick's former club, Spurs, who, of course, we are about to watch at home against Manchester City. So let's remind you of the team news ahead of that one. City, having played the Champions League in the week where Semenyo and Gahey couldn't play, they are back in. Aït Nouri starts for just the 4th
time in the Premier League. Doku, of course, he's injured. Phil Foden is amongst the substitutes. Thomas Frank has all kinds of problems again. 11 first teamers out injured. Added recently to that list, Mickey van der Ven, Spence and Danzo defensively as well. Porro is still missing, so Dragerson starts a Tottenham game for the first time in over a year. Paulinho is going to have to play in a back three, and also starting is Kolo Muani. So let's get the thoughts of both the managers ahead of this one, beginning with the Spurs boss, Thomas Frank.
Obviously, you know as well, not all the supporters are happy right now, but do those injuries make them even more important? You need those guys behind you today.
Yeah, we need to support us every single game. I think they've been very, very good. I think the home game against Dortmund was exceptional. The traveling, they're always traveling in numbers, but very happy with the support in the back in Frankfurt. And today we need to create an atmosphere where they are pushing us forward, and they can see we fight for every inch on the pitch, and they're behind us.
What would, beyond the 3 points, what would a win and a big performance for you today against an opponent this good, what would it do for maybe the sense that you are going in the right direction and bringing everyone together? What would it do for you?
Now, I think that for us it will mean a lot, because I think we actually, there's signs of us, even with all the injuries and all that there's signs of we're progressing, we're going the right direction, but we need to have consistent performance and also a spell of good results as well. So a good performance and a big result today would be massive.
Talk us a little bit through your team. Phil Foden on the bench for the third game in a row. What do you kind of feel like he needs from you as a manager right now? Is it the best thing for him just at the moment, just to sort of take a moment?
I mean, it is good for the players and let them play. So it's just the selection. I preferred that problem. So the last month always you have a amount of injuries that have been problem. It's been good to have him. Always his contribution is important, and we need him. He's best.
And can you just tell us, Nico, his role today? I feel like there's a few different ways you could set that midfield up.
Yeah, playing midfield. Yeah.
Okay, so he's alongside Rodri.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's very honest of Pep, who has nice problems with the depth on the bench with the likes of Phil Foden and Marmouche, etc. Thomas Frank not afforded that luxury today at all. As I say, look at the players unavailable to him today. That list of big hitters has risen to 11. Mickey van der Ven, of course, is the headline. But look at some of those names, Michael, and Thomas Frank there talking about needing consistent performances. I mean, how difficult is it to get those when he's chopping and changing, being dealt those blows virtually week in, week out at the moment?
Yeah, and it's not just the amount, Steve. It's there's so many of those are first team. Actually, they would go straight into the team. What do you think? About 8 of them, maybe? You could argue at least would be. So that's literally this is their reserve team today.
Yeah.
There's 2 or 3 players that would normally play without all those injuries. So it's a crippling blow to him. But what can you do? You've got to dust yourself down. You've got to get out there. You've got to hope the crowd are on side. You've got to hope you have a good start to the game, build a bit of confidence. And that's all you can do, because the crowd and everybody else are not going to listen to any excuses, whether that's injuries or whatever. They're just going to see the result at the end of it and say, oh, more pressure on the manager. So he's going to put that behind him, even though it's a wicked, wicked injury list.
Therefore, is this a perfect time to play Spurs for City?
Yeah, due to the injuries, the confidence, the state that the stadium is in, the atmosphere that it can be for the home team. But they won't be focusing on who's not available for Spurs. They all know the job for them is to get 3 points. They'll be aware of how difficult it's been to go there in the last few years. And so with the likes of Margay and Semenyo, there's new faces and new optimism for the challenge ahead.
And what do you make of the balance of that team he's picked today with O'Reilly in midfield again?
I like it. I know the manager really likes him and sees O'Reilly as a midfielder. But again, I think the last few weeks there's a lot more balance to it. They're not as gung-ho defensively and as open in the transition. So hopefully there's a fine balance to that.
Okay, well, Aston Villa have missed the opportunity to go within 4 of the leaders, Arsenal. Now it's Manchester City's turn to try and do it. Could Arsenal be the big winners of the weekend? Ironically, their hopes in this one, resting on their North London rivals. City know it's must win, they have to keep the pressure on. Kick-off less than 10 minutes away.
Cars proudly portrayed by Discovery Bank and Kia.
And they're on. 10-bit horse racing, any track, any time. Saddle up and download the 10-bit app today. Order trailer. Find your happy place.
So here they come. It's a walk that few players get to make. It's a game the very best in the world get to play in. The most watched sporting event in the world. Free kick is given. It's right again.
It's on every Tuesday, every Wednesday. It's on another level. The Champions League on Super Sports on the world's best football package, DSTV Compact.
Despite the setbacks, Memphis still carries itself like a contender. They rank among the league's leaders in ball movement and rebounding, showing that their pace is real and their defense closes out possessions. The standings might say middle of the West, but the numbers say something else. A proven core, toughened by setbacks. Are you ready?
Yes, Daddy.
Ready.
Cheese.
It's more than a meal.
You ready, Nana?
It's living with a taste for life.
Introducing the Personal Health Fund. Families can get healthier and earn up to 20,000 Rand in extra funds for family health like no other. Only on Discovery Health Medical Scheme. Manchester City keep the lead on in the title race.
To the top of the table. Thomas Frank watches on bewildered. Manchester City back on track and back on the winning trail. These history suggests could be high scoring and entertaining. Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City.
And we're ready for the latest instalment. Less than 5 minutes to kick off as the teams emerge from the tunnel at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs, remember, one of their highs in a difficult Premier League season so far under Thomas Frank has been a win over Manchester City at the Etihad by 2-0. Can they, with all these players missing, get something out of this one? But City, of course, desperate for the 3 points to reduce the gap at the top of the Premier League to 4 points again behind the leaders Arsenal. So a reminder of the team news. Spurs decimated again. 11 first team regulars unavailable to Thomas Frank today. Van der Ven added to the list, Spence and Danzo. So they really are decimated defensively. That means that Dragusin, the Romanian, starts for Spurs for the first time in over a year. João Paulinho is asked to play in a back three, and Gray at right wing back. Also starting is Kolo Muani, and Sousa, the teenager recently signed, does make it amongst the substitutes. More comfortable for Pep Guardiola, who's able to leave Phil Foden on the bench for the 3rd game running. He's also, after the Champions League win in the week, able to recall a fresh Semenyo and Mark Gay. O'Reilly continues in midfield. Church starts at 8. Nouri at left back, starting in the Premier League for City for just the 4th time. Doku is the one missing through injury. Do you expect City to get control of this game and go on and get the 3 points here, Charlie?
Yeah, I expect them to definitely get control of the game. If they do that in the majority of games, well, that's going to be enough to win. You know, what getting the defense and attempt to score 2 goals.
Erling Haaland, I think he's proving his human, Michael. Last 10 games in all competitions, 2 goals, 1 from home play. Yeah, but I feel there's a bit of deja vu about that. Sat here and said that before. All strikers go through little dry spots. We're not seriously saying he's not going to score. Go back up. The goal scoring drawn at me, he's going to be top goal scorer this season. He's playing in the team that are going to create chances. He's playing against a weakened defence today. Who's to say it's not going to happen today? He'll look at this lovely, beautiful stadium playing against someone in Dragusin that said hasn't played for a long, long time. Polina that's not wrong in the centre half, so he'll be licking his lips.
I suppose, of course, in 50 after Palace's point,
City, remember, the other end, have to keep the pressure on the leaders Arsenal. Arsenal already seen Villa lose today.
again, I don't think they would have been much in or focused on that result if it was Arsenal, yes. But you're chasing the leaders, you don't tend to look at what's going on. Again, they'll be aware of their job, and that's the win.
And now this man needs a Premier League lift from somewhere. Pressures on, isn't it? I mean, it's a big day for both managers. Manchester City simply have to win to keep the pressure on Arsenal. And in short, he needs to win to possibly keep his job. I mean, the vultures are circling, aren't they, at the moment? Even when they win, they get criticism. So it's a tough place to be, but you can beat Manchester City, that might lift the pain a little. Particularly with that patched up Tottenham Hotspur team today. And those home supporters, whilst they've enjoyed the Champions League ride, Premier League wise, have only seen 2 home victories all season. City, remember, have won just once in the last 5 Premier League games. They need to win this one. So much at stake. Here comes the first half in North London with Matt Holland and Jim Proudfoot.
So, after Arsenal's statement of intent, can Manchester City muster a similarly eloquent response? Or will Spurs do their fierce rivals a favour and help themselves in the process? Very much a patched up Spurs team today. 11 out through injury, some players playing in relatively familiar positions, including Archie Gray at right wing back. He spent a lot of his days at Leeds playing at right back. He's been a right wing back too often. Fine for Spurs. The defenders all out through injury today.
Yeah, you have to have a lot of sympathy for Thomas Frank. Throughout the course of the season, he's been missing some key personnel, particularly in attack. I think the Kulusevski and Madison have been missing most of the season. Solanke as well has missed a large chunk. Back today, of course. As for Manchester City, their title charge hinges on going on a long winning run. Aston Villa faltered today. Arsenal won yesterday. It's imperative that they get the 3 points here.
mentioned Decky Kulusevski's 36th game for Thomas Frank today as the Spurs manager. Kulusevski hasn't played in any of them. Sneer Doggy. Suma, who's also extremely lightly raised this season because of injury. Also playing in a totally unfamiliar position. He played 3 centre halves. Striking it forward here for Antoine Semenyo. Haaland continuing his run. Semenyo going for goal. The handling not great. Have time to be able to gather in the second attempt, but a nervy start for the Spurs custodian.
Talked pre-match about the variety of Manchester City's play now and how they can transition quickly. Haaland was excellent, the build-up. Actually, it's been notable early on how Semenyo's been really close to Erling Haaland. It's like a 2 up top. Some success against Spurs this season, Antoine Semenyo.
It's just 3 weeks since he presented Bournemouth with a parting gift. Dramatic stoppage time winner against Spurs with his last kick for the club, and shot on target inside the opening couple of minutes here. Even when they were racking up titles for fun, Spurs away was a hurdle that City regularly used to stumble over. They lost 5 visits in a row here at one stage, but they have now won 3 of the last 4 on this ground in League and Cup. They're regarded as having almost a 50-50 chance of another victory today. Spurs win seen as just a little bit more likely than the game being drawn. City's victory against Wolves last weekend, their first in 5 league games. They've still only lost a little ground to Arsenal over that time though. Today they're back within 4 points of the Gunners for their success at Leeds yesterday.
Back 3 or a back 4 for Spurs. Well, actually, without the ball, it's very much a back 5. Archie Gray, Destiny Udogie, sticking in alongside the 3 centre-backs. City dominating the early possession.
Spurs have switched to a back 3 for the last 2 games, which was a decision that was partly based on the personnel available. So saw them match up the opposition shape on both occasions. It's time that they with a 3 against the back 4. It's in the North London derby. Afternoon here. So maybe it was offside as the play for now and trying to roll Polinia.
One early problem I see with this Spurs system is that they could be a bit narrow at times. I think Archie Gray and Destiny Udogie are both quite happy to narrow off, come into midfield, come centrally, but they are the width in this team.
So thank you first to that. Take by Shabby Sequence. Abasuma. Travelling. Six goes back to halfway. Sheets only played a couple of games for Tottenham this season. He's 11 months with an ACL injury. In fact, his last game here for the club was against Elfsborg a year ago this week. International back on the ball again here.
And an apology. Shabby Simmons. Dominic Solanke made the run in behind. Mancity trying to keep behind lines. There is space for that ball over the top.
Did they can to condense the play. Manchester City, their defensive line there was only about 8 yards inside their own half. I suppose a similar distance inside theirs. It's Junior Romero.
sport to listen to your body any space. Spurs win in Frankfurt on Wednesday, saw them finish above PSG, Real Madrid, Inter Milan and City themselves in the Champions League table, but just can't replicate that form domestically. Fourth in the Champions League, 15th in the Premier League. Saving grace was that West Ham's dramatic defeat yesterday means that Spurs still have an 8-point cushion above the bottom three. Victory today will be extended into double figures. West Ham held on there. It's been a anxious atmosphere even before the game started here today. Spurs kept it in, but only presented it to Palhinha. The last touch gives Manchester City a throw.
It's a really interesting setup that Pep Guardiola's gone with today. Looks like a 4-4-2 really, with Semenyo up top close to Haaland. I think O'Reilly going into midfield. I think it might actually be his first Premier League start in midfield this season. I know he's played there previously.
Simons. Kusanov is right on top of his game at the moment. Just fighting the challenge from Simons. Getting it forward too far ahead of Cherky. So he chased the long ball forward that was slipped out by Nunes. The 4-4-2 against Galatasaray on Wednesday. Manchester City. Personnel, Semenyo wasn't eligible for that game, but it is he that is the other split striker with Erling Haaland today. Got it deep, Gallagher got there first. It's the free kick.
Top of Man City though, into the feet of Erling Haaland. You see one counter-attack, him spinning and playing Semenyo in. Good work from Conor Gallagher. Knocking that particular ball into his feet. I think it's been a problem for Manchester City as well as Spurs, hasn't it? Think about the personnel that they're missing as well. Claudio, Diaz, Stones, some key personnel missing at the back for them. Just really highlights, shows the importance of bringing Mark Gay in.
It's the line by Simons who was that it hit. Back it away. It's just curved over the line. Out of play for a throw. Big great on the road, City. They've not scored in either of their away games in the league this year. Beaten at United, having been held at Sunderland. Everton failed to find the net in 3 successive away league games under Pep. Possession turned over very neatly there. Silva, Haaland, now Cherky. 1-0. Just strolled through. Instructed into the bottom left-hand corner. More discontent emanates around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs behind, and it was so easy.
Clinical finish from Ryan Cherky. Look how condensed the pitch is though. Look how squeezed up Manchester City are. There's no room for Bissouma. There's nowhere to play. And he's caught gifting the ball away. Haaland does really well. Cherky's still got plenty to do. Bernardo Silva, excellent. Tracking back, winning the ball off Bissouma. Haaland feeds Cherky. And that is an unerring finish into the bottom corner. Spurs playing into Man City's hands. Trying to play out from the back. The pitch is condensed. Man City winning back high up. And then A blistering counter-attack ends up in Spurs' goal.
Just Thomas Frank didn't need that first away goal in 3 league games for Pep Guardiola and City, and Cherky scored in his last 3 cup ties. Scores his 3rd Premier League goal with the Cafe. Pete Bissouma has picked up a yellow card for his challenge on Erling Haaland in the build-up to that goal.
Trying to make amends for his mistake. Have some sympathy with him though. He picked up possession, he's looking, he's hoping for someone to come and show. Mancity shut off every corridor, there's nowhere for him to go. Picked his pocket. What a counter it was.
Semenyo coming forward this time, Bissouma sweeps up. Rejoining the attack. Getting it away, and there was a free reaction as well. Well, they conceded first in 14 games this season, and they haven't won any of them. Thomas Frank to slide behind against the team that are very adept at protecting leads.
It's a real sense of deja vu in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, almost a resignation from the supporters. They're so used to this, they've seen it all before.
Spurs with 60% of the ball in the early stages, but significantly had an attempt. City have had 2 and scored with one of them. Again here was Silva looking for Semenyo.
Instead, Bissouma giving the ball away. I think that just goes to show, doesn't it, as I was saying about Mancity, the variety that they've got now, they don't necessarily rely on having the ball. There's a time when Pep Guardiola's side will have 80% of it, totally dominate teams. Now they're not relying on that.
Margate. Semenyo slotted into this Manchester City attacking unit so superbly. Kusanov. Now Nunes. Spurs just can't stop at the moment. That's a clever little flick. Haaland picking it up on the edge of the penalty area. Yeah, allowing play to continue with the City in a good area. Cherky's still down. This was the challenge that City's goal scorer on the deck.
Tell you what, it's a terrific little touch, wasn't it, round the corner. He's got all the tricks and flicks, Ryan Cherky. Some talent. I see in the goal again. He actually does take a deflection. I think he needs to do a little better, actually, Trevisan. Get a bit tighter, try and stop the shot. It does take a slight deflection that makes it more difficult for Vicario. It's brilliant from Manchester City. The last thing that Thomas Frank needed. An early goal against.
Spurs in a position where they need players to display some character for them. threatening the bigger picture as well. They're 10 possession to Manchester City, as you would expect. It is the 8th time already this season the Spurs have gone 1-0 down at home in a league game. Haaland hoping to make it 2. And the Cario turn, watch, and was mightily relieved. What a chance.
He should be too. It's a terrific ball over the top. It's an early run from Erling Haaland, in between the two centre-backs. He's just out-muscled them, outpaced them. The only thing missing is the finish. What a ball from Rodri. Really, that should be Romero's to deal with. He doesn't. Trankshan can't get across. He should be too.
And like Barney. Sinov. Just retreating so that he can punch it away from Solanke.
That's ball over the top to Erling Haaland. Just goes to show how much they miss Mickey van der Ven. His pace on recovery.
Signa. Chilling. Sheena. Spurs as they bring you for frustration as well at there. Seems to get ball too quickly. Inside
Excellent turning pace. It's lacking them favourite to get there.
As you mentioned, no Stones, no Diaz, no Guardiola. This game, Swing suggested that Kuznetsov and Gahey partnership make life difficult for a lot of front lines. Just behind O'Reilly. In terms of possession in the early stages of the game, but City have had all of the ball, which makes no difference over the last 5 minutes.
The goal has really burst Spurs' bubble. Lacking belief, lacking intensity.
Southampton doing their bit to try and rouse their team from this tournament. It's going late on Rodri. Jones stopping play immediately.
Spurs fans desperate for their team to show some fight. Entirely sure this is the sort of fight that they need to see. Has he got away with that? Getting a yellow card.
So far in keeping with Spurs' home league campaign. Just seen them win only twice, take just 9 points from a possible 11 games. So it's Tottenham winning it back here with Xavi Simons. So it goes on. So there was losing the ball at Romero's feet. Play back and put Kuznetsov for the challenge.
I mean, it's a yellow card. So was Colin Moanis a couple of minutes ago on the lunge. Does catch Conor Gallagher. Absolutely right, he gets a yellow card.
So he's not joining Basuma in the book. perhaps a moment that Spurs needed a bit of set-piece mastery. It's now. But it's pressing through the wall and asking for it just to shuffle. Just imperceptibly across to their right. Simmons to take it, all did its job, and so too did Donovan. So when you sprinkled away at the top of the picture, but we're electing not to try and play the long early ball over the top. The arm of one of the Manchester City players in the wall. It's an incident that has been checked and cleared by VAR. Jared Gillen. Actual position. Here comes Cherky going the long way round. Romero still struggling his way through. Very wide. Almost walking it in.
He's a magician. Ball almost tied to his feet. Goes past Romero as if he's not there. Drops the dummy on Dragashan, comes across, tries to get his shots away, does get his shots away, and what a save that is from Vicario. He knew it, didn't he? Immediately. He said that's a corner. What a save from Vicario.
Simmons. Teres Nunes.
They could easily be three. Haaland's missed a glorious opportunity, and Vicario has made a wonder save. How good is this? Outstanding. Brilliant play from Ryan Cherky. He's a joy to watch.
But he couldn't believe that he didn't get a corner. Slovenia couldn't believe he didn't get a square pass across the edge of the 6-yard box. That may well be his last contribution. Cherky down receiving treatment, and Gianni Reinders is being spoken to within the Manchester City technical area. It's going to be coming on in a moment.
It's not the worst replacement, is it? But I've got to say, the first 25 minutes I've really enjoyed watching Cherky play. From a selfish point of view, I'd like to see him being able to continue. Outrageous skill. Already put his team ahead.
Some contribution that he's had, 12 touches, 3 of them inside the Spurs penalty area, including the goal. Going off through injury, but still getting a masterclass from Pep Guardiola on his way off as to exactly what should have happened. Looks as though Cherky is going to be able to continue. Just going to give him a couple of minutes to see how he goes, or it's not as severe as they first thought. Surely find out.
Mancity can do that. They can go long because they've got the physicality and the strength of Semenyo and Haaland up top. When Tottenham are pressing them, as they were on that occasion, the ability just to drop it into their front players. So they could probably do that more often. Certainly a couple of minutes ago they invited that Spurs pressure. Kusanov got himself booked.
Spurs with the free kick working all the way back for Vicario. They look long, but Gahey pushing it away from Solanke. Ball forward, and this was looking at a doggy rather than the trajectory of the goalkeeper's clearance. It's a great touch from O'Reilly. Some line play for the young Englishman. While getting his pass for Semenyo wrong.
Vincent's doing, he offers more protection as well to the Manchester City defence. You talk about them maybe struggling against counter-attacks themselves. He's struggled against Tottenham earlier in the season to counter-attacks. I think he just gives them that little bit more stability in the middle of the pitch.
He's only 20 as well. Such a versatile player. He's got a record of saying that he thinks that he will end up as being a number 10. So a very effective job as a marauding left back, showing his ability in the slightly deeper central midfield role. It's Bernardo Silva. Aït-Nouri, who's started the club, came back in August. Premier League. So tracking it away from Colin. Shake the head, turned, Silva. Criticism again. Singles. And back. Takes it slow. Singles in the back. That's brave from Tottenham, trying to play out from the back. Taking responsibility. Worked it nicely into Simmons. It's played Spurs midfield. He's just a city counterpart on it, denying him any time or space. Gallagher thought that he was fouled there. Conor Gallagher is making just his third appearance for Spurs. It's £35 million move from Atletico Madrid. Spurs' January signing so far. Blames his innocence. Just like that. Scores a goal now is almost an error. Resignation. The home support.
The team can't get close to Mancity at the moment. It's hard to show it. Thomas Frank's thinking today. Understand the back three. For that stability. It's a really top class side. How are they going to break City down? How are they going to find a goal? If you're going to play like this and get then behind the ball, you need a fast counter-attacking team. This is the back. The 10's on target yet. There's no width in the team with the doggy one side. Gray on the other. Both narrowing off.
It's confirmation Just one attempt off target from Spurs through the opening 31 minutes. So he's only had 8 touches. It's Simmons. He was offside anyway. City allowed the play on. So he'll try to do so. Possession. That's with a heavy touch. Fishery of that. Simmons' distribution has been excellent so far. Has it again here. Support. Standing try. Simmons playing the right pass. Talk about how well Nico O'Reilly has been playing. Thomas Tuchel looking on. Unaware of Jude Bellingham has gone off with a hamstring injury for Real Madrid today. O'Reilly, Gahey, show for him to look at, including Spurs Conor Gallagher as well.
Seems efficient, not getting so assured of the ball. Brings leadership to this team as well.
Scott Romero, choose every move. Cherky seems fine after those injury concerns of 10 minutes or so ago. Drives in by Rodri, Haaland arriving. Well defended by Draghi.
Scanning twice now, Rodri, that ball over the top. She thought that Haaland was favourite. On the shoulder, Thomas Silva, comes upon his bottom. 3. Haaland did brilliantly.
Cheers. Toby. Spurs are open at the 50, 60 yards here. Simmons. Falinia. Spurs attack.
Talked about that edge protection in the pitch. He was gone through the slings actually. He couldn't get back. O'Reilly sprinted back and slowed Spurs down. Excellent work.
So, fine. Twice a night. Simmons. Simmons plans to shoot. Simmons just craving some positivity around the edge of the penalty area. It's forthcoming. City. Bending well. It's their opportunity on the counter-attack. Cherky finding Semenya. Needless to say, the most advanced of his teammates in the middle. The contest is in the center. Simmons away. Simmons not taking responsibility.
Tom's taking effort on that. So again, it's hard to try and get out of your feet. He was closed down pretty quickly, wasn't he? To the short to foul on Semedo first time around actually from Romero. That ball over the top to him was on much earlier. 2 versus 2, and actually Spurs were ahead of the play. Semenyo's in space. Should have come too soon, though. This is the situation the Spurs find themselves in, falling into the bottom 6 earlier to the Forest Palace draw. 2 teams just 2 behind them. It's an 8-point cushion above the relegation zone with 14 games to go. Few of those 14 for Spurs are arduous ones. Selecting Simons. He's got an attempt in that time, although City defending. It's Kusanov. Slavsons. A yellow card for Xavi Simons. Deliberate attempt to stop the counter. Spurs' next 5 league games are all against teams in the top 9. 3 of them, including this one, seeing them face top 4 opposition. There's certainly a fear amongst the faithful that it could get worse before it gets better. They can't find an equaliser here. They'll only have 1 point from 4 games. And you're on the City left. Gahey. Screening the lines for Bernardo Silva. Soon would put his foot in. Over Sherky. Ryder. Roderick. The fact that it feels as though they're in complete control, and it's nearly half an hour since City had a shot on target, which was the Ryan Cherky goal. A couple of opportunities to turn that 1-0 lead into a 2-goal advantage. With the early on, roll over the bar. You shouldn't say City are complacent, aren't they? Because it has been so close before.
So some people will say, oh, you remember that. It's a lie. Most of the time.
Possession in this kind of area is so easy for City.
Because you don't know you. Some people might think, but when they see things first, they kind of realize.
Touch of the cat starts about 8 or 8. And just too easy. Donnarumma finding Rodri. Perfect pass from him. Semenyo. By Archie, brilliant, and he's missed it. Strange. It's a leg off for Spurs now. City can afford to be more direct. 3 against 2. Rodri's in all the space. Hull and Semenyo were left 1v1. He's the spare man in attack. Just miss out the press. Play slice front 3. Front 2.
Certainly favour the away team on this Premier League meetings. Two sides always ended up with an away victory. Too much to suggest that it might extend to 5. Side haven't even scored in those 4. So Spurs only having had 1 shot on target so far. That's also evidently possible today. Here's Rodri. Southampton slow the game to a standstill. Strikes again. Nunes. Silva wasn't what he intended. It still worked well. Marie. It's not what he intended either.
They're pulling their way to the 18-yard line. Mancity. It's like an exhibition at times. No urgency, no pressing, no closing down from Tottenham. Happy is worried that so they won.
Drake. Silva. Semenyo. Inimitable. Antoine Semenyo scores yet again for Manchester City. And for the second time in 3 weeks, he's put a nail into Spurs. It just goes from bad to worse. Thomas Frank, watching this performance, really must fear the worst.
Well, I said that Pep Guardiola would be pretty perturbed that it was only 1. It's 2 now. How easy is this again? Bernardo Silva, superb. Finding Semenyo. Said it's not that long ago since he scored a late winner against Tottenham for his former club, but he's a man in form. He didn't expect any other result. Faced up with Vicario. He's got the coolness, the calmness to guide it into the corner. Give Man City a really comfortable lead as we approach half-time. Fantastic play again from Man City. Another giveaway from Spurs. City capitalised to double their lead. Might have got the celebration a little bit wrong, but he won't mind.
Manchester City head over heels with how this is going. That will just take a little bit of honing, that particular celebration, but the form he's in. Plenty of opportunities to do it over the next few weeks. It's 4 in 5 for his new club. Team for the season now. Doesn't get any easier for those Spurs fans, no matter how many times you've seen a disappointing performance. They've only won 4 of the last 25 home league games. Still makes it a very difficult watch. They have been outclassed so far. Yes, there are 11 out through injury today. That is the kind of list of casualties that any Premier League team would struggle to deal with. The home faithful will be very frustrated and will air that frustration when the half-time whistle blows. Three times as many attempts for Manchester City. Spurs with barely a third of the possession over the first 45 minutes of this game. Haven't had a shot on target so far. It's almost an eerie silence here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as they try to get their head round this latest poor performance. Colin Moani had his shirt pulled there. Referee. It's the world of turning away. Down again. Seamless. Then goes to shoot, and he has gone for it. Can they throw themselves a lifeline? Right at the end of this first 45 minutes. Through the player book, just down his left arm to stop Simons having a shot.
Entirely sure he needed to do that with Riley coming across to help him.
Showing Simons free kick, hit the ball. Asking for 4 this time. The draft excluder is in position. Simons Muster. Straight through the ball. Never makes the save. Spurs with a shot on target finally. Right at the end of the first half. Spurs fans endlessly half low quality but high on disgruntlement. Manchester City racing into an early lead. Ryan Cherky's superbly taken goal. The advantage doubled by Antoine Semenyo coming at the half-time. Manchester City comfortable in the extreme. Haaland missed a great opportunity. For Spurs, it's a familiar story, but it doesn't make it any easier to watch. Spurs 0, Manchester City 2.
Yes, City in total control, and those faces of the Tottenham Hotspur supporters tell you everything. Another very difficult watch as far as the first half and the home team are concerned. Down within 11 minutes to that Turkey strike. Could and should have been worse, but in the end, another City goal for Semenyo has them in total charge at half time.
These famous streets now have a new champion. What a win that is.
The Kia Seltos SUV from only $4,759 per month.
With the Discovery Bank card, you'll find there's more inside. There's dew crisp green and sunniest orange, glassy red and salmon pink. There's a crack of comfort and a burst of bliss. Natural and nourishing. Freshness and flavor. There's more to choose and more to delight. With up to 75% back on the healthy food you love. Because it's a Discovery Bank card, and the goodness is inside. Bag the hottest exclusive casino games with Betway.
Why choose when you can have both? Nivea Men Deep Body Lotion, powered by black carbon for 48-hour moisture.
moisture and a long-lasting dark wood fragrance. Skin is for playing it smart. Nivea is for skin. Try new Nivea Men Deep Extreme with a fresh, energizing fragrance.
I'm not trying to get faster. I'm not been 10 pound hours.
Brought to you by Toyota. Lead the way.
That's a lot of super things. I'm great with that. I'm great with it. Seven hands. Right now!
Super savings.
You don't need the skills to bring the moves. You don't need a new dress. And you can dance those. You don't need to hear the beat to bring the moves. You don't even need to use your feet. You don't need the kicks, or the crowd, or the weave. Whatever your moves, bring them with extreme power. Moves themselves, not for persons under the age of 18. Football season is kicked off at SuperSport Bet. Get in on the action with My Boost, our new one-of-a-kind feature that puts you in control. Pick your match, boost your odds, and supercharge your payouts. Want more? Watch out for super boosted odds on the week's biggest games. Or level up your multi-bets with Thunder Power and double your winnings for this season's best odds and biggest payouts. Switch to SuperSport Bet for the football fans.
Welcome back to Manchester City in total control of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, leading Spurs by 2 goals to nil. And Julian, they haven't had to work very hard for those goals, have they?
No, it's been a very average showing from Spurs defensively. And as I said, they've tried to play out and a relatively high build. The press was there from City, and I think defensively it's all individual decisions. And then we will work out how good or bad that finish actually is, to be honest. But here is optimal distance when you're trying to win the ball back is 24 metres.
You applied this in your coaching?
Yeah,
With the other 21.
because they implemented that and it's kind of successful. And then you get two decisions, individual decisions made by Jackson and Romero, and again, no one's really closing the ball down. Don't have a player.
That takes a little deflection, but when a goal goes in, I just think that doesn't look right. The goalkeeper gets close to it, doesn't go that close to the corner. I don't know. I know what he's thinking, but yeah, it's been a really poor performance. Defensively from Tottenham, they don't look as if they're in control. They actually look ragged. Okay, they've got different personnel, different formation in many ways as well, but this could get a lot worse.
And that was 11 minutes in, and it could have even been a lot worse at half time with a couple of opportunities. But then just a minute before half time, I mean, what were Tottenham Hotspur thinking here?
Yeah, well, I mean, Johnny will know more than me, but when your defender is in a position like that, he's struggling. I would think that you stay quite tight and narrow and Joe, I mean, you've taken away Johnny.
Yeah.
He's struggling here, and it's an awful clearance, but
Yes, and he's only weaker foot. But Romero and Paulinho have got to recognise they cannot affect the play offensively in the position they were in. And it makes themselves, it makes it even harder to recover when you're so wide and all of a sudden get back in. Paulinho should not be running into the shot as somebody who's taking a shot on goal. I just can't understand the decision. There's no way that works like training. So that is individual decisions made. That is a But what is great is the celebration. Just nearly at the end, took away the 10 out of 10, but he's loving like that. Manchester City is 4 in 5 already for that Tottenham, and only 2 players have got more Premier League goals this season than him. Now, the overall defensive shape applying, you take away any kind of tactic because it's a completely different back three, we understand that, but still the basics here, Joe.
Yeah, the basics again.
I don't know what they are, I don't know what the principles are defending it. He said none of them are on the same line. Collectively, they all seem to be defending as individuals. Communication doesn't seem to be ideal. This one here, Barry gives that relatively easy pass, and then he thinks I'm going to go press the ball, but then he doesn't recognise that Haaland is potentially behind him. He then goes to close down shots, doesn't actually close it down. It's a no man's land. Again, here, this is kids stuff, academy football, no straight ball, straight run, and he gets there, he's got to shot on target, and then Moreno does what he does after, and he tends to go high and press and check it on us. He knows his pace when he gets in here, and then he even has an awful touch there, change goes to cross him, his kicks in, and then he's one-on-one between the two of them. Again, there's just no communication and understanding of what my teammate is going to do, so then you transfer the next action.
Shot at the end of us. Well, a lot of people are scratching their heads, and some people are just looking in bewilderment. Trackers, particularly, they're diving and sliding. The end, Romero, for a captain, for a leader, he probably needs his main man and the men alongside him to show his best, because it's all a bit of a mess back there. And as I say, this could be a 3, 4, or even 5.
Indeed, Manchester City, 2 goals to the good, could, maybe should have been more, but they're in a very strong position. At half-time, one of Pep Guardiola's more straightforward half-time team talks at the moment. The same cannot be said across the corridor. The pressure and the problems are building for Tottenham and for Thomas.
I love it. So
The Kia Seltos SUV from only $359,995. Kia, movement that inspires. Introducing the Personal Health Fund. Get healthier and earn up to 12,500 Rand to keep you match fit. Rewarding health like no other. Only on Discovery Health Medical Scheme. Watching highlights from Daniela Stars to dream. Bedroom eyes are on the prize. Now watch Daniela Spears. Every Wednesday and Sunday. Hollywood Days. Enjoy playing responsibly. Hello?
Hey, babe, you're the hero.
Yeah, see you in a sec. At our usual.
Oh, you went out as usual.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, babe? They put you just in schedule.
Oh, it's finally. Oh, be curious.
I love trying to faster. I love 10 bar down, Mercy.
Culture by Toyota. Lead the way.
Was that attention again? Yes, this is seek discomfort. I'm not doing my love, not wanting to be complacent, trying to get the best out of life, and that's how I found insurance. And so do you feel like you've gotten more around since you've been without insurance? Definitely, yeah. Saving so much every month, around 640 Rand. They also told you about the bonus, right? After 3 years, claim 3 years, then you get the bonus back, then you're getting a lot out. Switch to insurance, you can get more Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
Royal Flush Gin. French luxury. Introducing the new Honor VSOP Platinum Cognac. An internationally award-winning icon of French luxury. Honor VSOP Platinum. Taste the legacy. Immerse yourself in a world of opulence and indulge in the art of luxury. Rich and smooth, elegant and sophisticated. Its depth and complexity is unmatched, creating an unforgettable experience. Crafted in the heart of France, an embodiment of excellence. Voted best cognac in the world. Cognac Masters London. Honor Cognac above all else.
So, Manchester City, 2 goals to the good and very comfortable indeed. As it stands, they are taking the opportunity to go back within 4 points of the league leaders at Arsenal, something Aston Villa, remember, failed to do earlier today, losing by goals nil at home to 10. Then Brentford, Manchester United back to 4 after their win against Fulham. At the bottom, Spurs, of course, on 28 points in 15. That would be 8 points clear of the drop, whereas they're only 6 clear after their draw, also with 10 men. Crystal Palace, who nudged their way up to 29. What on earth is Thomas Frank said in there? How can he get a tune out of this team in the second half? Honestly, don't know about the merits of enough of the Couriers, but the armband on his side, it's going to change being made. Well, it doesn't seem like it's tactical. Well, that's interesting. Vicario has run out with the arm spotted there, which would suggest Christian Romero isn't coming up for the second half. At the very least, yeah, I don't know who changes. You'd like to think it's offensive to try and get back in the game, but Pape Sarr for Romero is the change. Flat back 4. So it's set up after. Again, he's Dan's there though, so I can't question the decisions he's made, but it doesn't kind of give me confidence they're going to get back into this game. Is there anything in the Spurs tank? Manchester City at the moment, 4 points behind Arsenal. Here comes the second half in North London. Back to Matt Holland and Jim Prower. So confirmation, the Spurs change at half-time. Pape Sarr on for Christian Romero. The Spurs going back to a back 4 for the second half, and they've got to do something.
Yeah, I anticipated a change, or 2. He's made 1. He's a switch of formation. I mean, I think it's an injury when you use Christian Romero, particularly with Palhinha staying at centre half now in a back 4. So Dragashanik's been out for so long. But it's Romero that's made way for Sarr. The 5 didn't work. They were trying to press, they were leaving themselves open defensively. The idea of playing the back 3 is to give you more stability. That certainly wasn't the case in that first half.
First corner of the day, 40 seconds into the second half. Spurs very grateful to be able to get it away. And afterwards, that shabby signal seems to be fouled by Bernardo Silva. And they're so short of personnel. Talk about the defenders that are out through injury at the moment. For Spurs, Van der Ven, or Porro, or Spence, or Danso, Ben Davis. If Romero has got an injury problem, they have to go back to a back 4. They've got no options on the bench in terms of centre halves they can bring on. Kent Rosewell is a full-back who can play in the middle.
Those centre-backs have been their biggest goal threat, or one of their biggest goal threats, haven't they? Romero and Van der Ven. Both scored against Burnley last weekend.
Are plenty of empty seats as you can see. But hospitality has been taken a bit more of a battering than it perhaps would. It's half-time intervals. Vicario side is clearly pushing off now, and it's going to be spoken to here by the referee. That's just a hangover from that challenge between the pair of them. 30 seconds or so ago, Solanke goes to the foot.
He's on his neck. That little look, didn't he? Trap on the neck. Cushion off.
French yellow this season for Don Solanke, who's never scored a goal against Manchester City in his career. Clearly a sore one for the expected defender. Semenyo. Gagey. Still given the instruction to turn, Nico O'Reilly. Just off balance.
It's too easy. Play straight to the middle of Spurs. Two passes and they're on the edge of the box.
Cubs have been back in action during the week. They've got Newcastle at home in the second leg of their League Cup semi-final. They've already got a decent advantage in that, but if they can score a third goal here, be able to take players off and rest them, you would think, for the match which is coming up on Wednesday night. It's a nice pass from the right. Donkey. Spurs might change the feel of the game here. Clearly, his best clearance would be shot from Conor Gallagher. Here being his first goal.
It's not a very long time actually to have a touch. Bouncing in front of him. It's a difficult finish, isn't it? It comes in quickly. He's not under immense pressure. Just one that could potentially have a touch first and set himself.
It's Atletico Madrid this season prior to his move here. Up in La Liga and one in the Champions League as well.
He offers great energy, Conor Gallagher. Loves to make those forward runs into the box.
Situation that Frank finds himself in with a centre-half partnership of Joao Paulinho, who's a midfielder, and Radu Dragicina hasn't started a game all season because of injury. It's great coming forward. It's not going to touch to that. Rodri, Simons, emerging with a save. Good save. Standing goalkeeper. He's a precious little to do today. He's produced a wonderful start.
Congratulations to his teammates and rightly so. He's this sweetly. Testing the doggy. But Dollar on is equal to it. Stays big. It's a good hand to it. Excellent goalkeeper.
Let's give Spurs that first corner of the day. 16 inside that 6-yard box. Including Dragicina back in from him. It was O'Reilly that got it clear. Nobody had picked him up at the far post.
I'll tell you what, they've got a great record from corners as well. Spurs this season. They've scored 12. They did brilliantly to free up Dragicina at the far post.
Scored as many goals from corners as Arsenal this season. Inside the penalty area from the Romanian. Haaland got his head to that. doesn't quite drop Felini's way. Back from Gallagher. Is Dragoshin. He beat him to it. Super. Good run from Solanke here. Still goes. Spurs. Straight to the line. Dominic Solanke takes the ball. And Spurs are back in the game.
Well, I think this might surely he thinks he was fouled in the build-up. City want an offside. He might be okay because Mike Nouri looks like he's leading him, keeping him on. See it again. Does really well, Snake. Uses his body, cuts inside. Just as he's about to get his shot away, it's between himself and Mark Gay. So who gets the final touch? Gay wants a foul because I think he feels as though Solanke has kicked through the back of his foot, which he does. And therefore, this may well be ruled out. It's come from the big screen that they're checking for a possible offside. I don't think he's offside. More likely event is if it is to be ruled out, it'll be for a foul.
Jerry Gillis. Giving his decision to the referee. The check is complete. Henry had indeed played him onside. And the goal stands. Solanke has now scored in 6 of his last 8 starts either side of his injury problems at the beginning of this season. His first ever goal against Manchester City. And for all of the domination the Pets men have enjoyed through 54 minutes, they're only one clear.
It's worth having another look. Does really well initially to cut back inside. Excellent skill. Gay gets back. He makes the challenge and then he kicks through the back of Mark. I think he's fortunate that that's been allowed. The VAR said that he was only checking a potential offside. I don't know if it checked a foul or not. Because he does kick through the back of Mark Gay. Either way, they've been rewarded for a proactive start to the second half. They've been better, they've gone to a back four. There's been a bit more energy about them. First half far too passive, too slow. There's been an improvement since the break.
Monica with hope where there was none. Sensational comebacks in London already, with West Ham 2 up at Chelsea at half time and ending up being beaten. So, Xavi Simons, Sarah ahead of him. Next thing a doggy. Now Gray. Spurs throw, I don't think Archie Gray himself was expecting. Meanwhile, the goal has now officially been credited as a Mark Gayview own goal.
They're fortunate that it's been allowed. Because I did feel as though it was a foul in the build-up. Or Solanke kicked through the back of Mark Gay.
Some plenty of targets for this latest Radu Dragoshin long throw. It's the corner of the 6-yard box but cleared. Gallagher. Getting it away. Holland is on his bike. Shirky. Space for Bernardo Silva's got Semenyo with him. Left it towards Haaland. Simons. Loses everyone. His first touch was a vital one. Pep Guardiola is showing a yellow card for his complaints. He saw the incident on the big screen here in the stadium, and he saw the challenge from the slightly off-mark Davey, who wasn't penalised. And on the back of that, he's talked his way into the book.
I was about to say, they showed it on the big screen and he was adamant, wasn't he? Straight away, as soon as he saw it, he called foul.
Check. Spurs throw. Here is the incident again. This is what Pep saw.
Yeah. And he just kicks through the back of him. It's a foul. I mean, well, as I said, VAR said it was checking for offside. It didn't say it was checking for a foul.
You can understand Pep's dismay. Hasn't been great coming into this weekend. They've taken more points at home than anyone else, but only the 5th best record on the road, where they've lost almost as many games as they've won. Something that is going to have to tighten up. We have to chase Arsenal down. As things stand right now, they will be back within 4 points. Top of the Premier League and 3 clear of Villa in 3rd. Coming into this one, they've lost 3 of the last 7 away games in the league. Certainly not much suggestion that they might lose this one from here. Standing up conceding goals in the second half of games than they do in the first. Spurs, since they had to make the change at half-time, much more of the ball in the second period, as you can see, and almost a complete reversal. They've had 2/3 of it now. Playing the City's hands on the counter-attack. Check.
There have been chances for Mancity to capitalise on that. The Spurs pushing bodies forward, trying to find a way back into the game. There's been opportunities to counter-attack.
Good run through the middle in the first time ball. This is Gray. Second.
Expecting a reaction from Tottenham. There has been. They've been better. They've really got going, yeah, haven't they, the visitors?
Few occasions where City have blown a 2-0 lead in a Premier League game. Last manager that Mancity did a 2-0 down against him was Thomas Frank. It's Brentford days, just over 12 months ago. So, it's the latest corner. Turkey firing it in. Gahey, who's adept at attacking that kind of situation. Balance when the ball got to him.
That's a chance. He's actually falling, isn't he? In making the attempt. Superman barges over the dog and just frees up that space for Mark Gahey.
It's like the Spurs won a league game he was on the losing side. League win for Tottenham at Palace between Christmas and New Year. They are one of 3 teams in the division yet to taste victory in the league game in 2026, along with Burnley and Palace. Silva. Trouble. Second able to beat him. 6 against 5. City looking for defensive reinforcements. Shot there. Nunes and corner is given. Is having a look at this defensive intervention on Lani.
I actually think there was no penalty. I think he just eased him off the ball. Don't use a penalty at all. The other end, Ignoring still down. So he's just going to play. He has to pass the ball on Silva. City players have gone ahead of him. This is the challenge. Driving forward. Churchy again that gets ahead of him. He actually wins the ball. It's a strong challenge. Coming together, but he does win the ball. Nigerian goals against Spurs back in April. Spat on speed. Still staying now. Second one, actually trying to sway clear of Bernardo Silva in the 6-yard box. It's back out for a doggy. Simons, Semenyo, too short of the ball bounce. Changes him and then Thomas Frank. Wilson Honor there, and Matty's Tell in the background there, also about to come on. Simon's absolutely adamant that he was fouled. What a position to be able to receive the second part of the 1-2. Getting the better of O'Reilly. Gallagher. And Gaze defending. Sharing that. Excellent defending. Great situation. Seems making things tick for himself. Scott there. 10 minutes, Spurs' best 10 minutes of the game. Haaland getting it forward here. Linking up again with Antoine Semenyo. Struggling. Semenyo out with goal kick. It's been a good link there, hasn't it, Haaland and Semenyo? Semenyo drifted out to this left-hand channel. Did it time that one right, Palhinha? It did. Semenyo's goal, incidentally, has made him only the 3rd player to score against Spurs in the Premier League for 2 different teams in the same season, following in the footsteps of Eric Cantona
Benito Carboni, both back in the late 90s. So Spurs double change. What about Antal, Zuma and Colomwani?
Positive change at half time, Thomas Frank. This is following suit. They need to do something to try and get back into it. Add a bit of pace to the team. Oliver and Tell coming on.
Cherky was down in knee treatment in the first half, and they got Reinders ready. He was about to come on, but that substitution back on ice, I don't think they're going to be able to delay it any longer. Nico Gonzalez is also about to be introduced.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to come on for it, but I would anticipate Nori possibly. Are they Riley going to left back?
Just come across to speak to the Manchester City coaching staff, which would suggest that you're going to be correct in your assumption. So Cherky off and Reinders on to replace him. And indeed, Ryan Aitnori is also being replaced. So on comes Reinders, who has scored 3 Premier League goals over Christmas. He's netted 6 in a City shirt so far. Quite the black eye.
Bernardo Silva just trying to get some information from the bench as well. He's been over at Pep Guardiola to where he should be now that they've made those changes.
Zardis has just told him the instructions from the maestro. Well, on the big screen here, it has now been credited to Dominic Solanke, the goal that has got Spurs back into the game. The goal accreditation panel has adjusted the goal to be a Solanke goal. Stats. Gallagher. Solanke! Spurs! Just back on level terms. Scoring, I think, 45 minutes. And after the last 20, believing that they could win. Symbolic of Manchester City's aspirations as they blow a 2-goal lead at Ailing Tottenham.
It's a scoreline that never looked likely at half time. The tension, the frustration amongst the Tottenham Hotspur crowd has lifted. What support it from Conor Gallagher. He gets there ahead of Rodri. He's improvised the finish somewhat brilliantly. Gallagher does so well initially to win the ball, and then can he find the pass? Can he find the cross? He does. Solanke, the ball's behind him. Somehow he sticks a boot out and finds that top corner. It's brilliant from Solanke. Donnarumma does his best. He gets a finger to it. He can't keep it out. Listen to the noise now.
How quickly things can turn. Absolutely sensational finish from Solanke. Spurs fans won't like the comparison, I appreciate that, but particularly in the case of Solanke. It's one of the strongest goals that he helped score.
I just want to see it again. It's that good. Ball's behind him. What does he do? He just sticks the boot out. It's brilliant.
Well, 10 days ago, he scored probably the scruffiest goal of his career here in the Champions League tie against Dortmund. His right foot onto his left leg, and it bounced back and hit his trailing leg and went in. It's gone from scoring scruffiest goals of his career, arguably the best.
Oh, what a couple of minutes actually for Dominic Solanke, because I think he was saying that he'd never scored against Manchester City. Well, he was awarded the first goal by VAR, and now he's just scored another terrific.
It's Haaland who's coming in from the offside position. In the Spurs. I doubt there was anybody in this stadium at half time that saw this coming. That's the Manchester City spec. Spurs. Simmons. Is Wilson on the back? In a big right on a dollar on the Sunday thing.
City around. Simmons has been terrific for Tottenham. He needed a player to take responsibility, get on the ball, show some character. He's done exactly that. To Manchester City's title aspirations.
Pain has been for the Gunners with Aston Villa losing, Manchester City blowing a 2-0 lead here, albeit there's still 16 minutes to go. Scoring 6 clear of City with 14. Stays this way. Spurs goal. Been celebrated so much by Arsenal fans. Spurs takes it back and is at the 14th of the line table. So that goes from equal to that. Tottenham. Simmons deflects in. Stunning save. Step Manchester City in this.
It's that man Simmons again. Simmons been terrific. It takes a deflection. Silva just enhances the quality of the save because he had to stretch even further. Can't quite believe what I'm watching. What a difference. The two halves of football.
He wants to take this latest goal. 15 minutes to go. One of those ball it back. Gallagher's delivered. Just off with the defensive header. Bringing it down O'Reilly, digging it clear.
You know, at half time, they're thinking, how many is it going to be for Man City? Second half, it feels like there's only one winner, and that's Tottenham. Look at that second half attempts. 7-2 for Spurs.
They've had all 5 targets. There's offside here. It's up against them. Rodri. Tell. Stock is slightly higher now than it was 45 minutes ago. 6 we saw at the beginning of the second half, and now midfield making them down the Seven Sisters Road. This one to call the Tottenham. Simmons urges to shoot, obliges, can't get hold of it, Solanke, it's Gray! Just evades it. It's back. So we get by on it. So that one back with Silva.
Spurs were still ball in the last 10 minutes. City an omnipresent threat on the counter-attack. Semenyo's ball in. Cleared only as far as Bernardo Silva. Flicked him by head and ahead of this goes wide. Not a chance. It's a chance. Pulling a counter again from Manchester City. They've looked so dangerous when they've been direct. The Spurs player just made that run ahead of him, which made him take his eyes off the ball. It's not the way that Pep Guardiola wants to play, but their best opportunities in the second period have come when they've been direct, when they've gone forward quickly, when they've bypassed the press, they've got the ball into Haaland and Semenyo. Manchester City were 2-0 up and lost the Premier League game was in the 2021 season at Brighton. It's O'Reilly. It's ball inside the penalty area. Might drop his way. He slams it away. And the Spurs having a half of football as good as this in the Premier League since Thomas Frank came to the club. Shots on target in this second half without reply, and certainly statistically it's the best half of football they've had since the opening weekend of the season, when they played Burnley and beat them comfortably. Silva's crossfield ball. It's Nunes. Rodri. Gahey. It's the Alagi. Simons. 10 minutes to go. That'd be a decisive fifth goal in this game. Certainly couldn't bet against them. Semenyo. Sure. Dragging themselves back into this Man City, aren't they? Shell shocked after giving up that 2-goal lead. Just starting to get back on the ball again. Just not able to create any really worthwhile opportunities though. They haven't had a shot on target in this second half. In fact, their last two attempts on target have been their 2 goals. Able to create something from this set piece, which Spurs are defending zonally from the line of 8 across the edge of the penalty area. Silva's ball in, finds his way through. Gahey can't turn it in. Haaland gets there's a real scramble. Sun kissing the roof of the net. Plenty for the VAR to have a look at there, including a handball shout. Does hit Sarr's hand there, maybe. He doesn't know a lot about it. I'm sure that's in a natural position.
Jarrett Kennedy sold Rob Jones then. So I was trying to move his arm away from the ball. Check is complete. Play will restart with a corner. Position that we're in now, it would feel like a big win for either of these sides if they can get over the line. Reinders with the delivery. Another relay from Brandashi. 7 to go. Nunes. Gonzalez. Eric Bernardo Silva can work it across. He's on deeper instead. Just off the Nunes. Now Gonzalez. So beginning to throw. Enjoying the majority of possession again after 20 minutes this up. O'Reilly. In from Gonzalez, down from Haaland. Only just 5 minutes.
He's got 9 to go. To Gianni Reinders. Look how well he arrives. It's an excellent header from Erling Haaland into his path, which makes that late run into the box untracked. Fantastic midfield play.
In each of the last 9 years, the Premier League champions have taken 84 points or more. City would still need to win at least 12 in their last 15 matches to get to 84. It's only 12 out of 14 if they don't win this. Even though this is a season where the points tally is likely to be lower than normal, that shows just how little margin for error they've got. And in 6 of the last 9 seasons, eventual champions' points tally's been in the 90s. And if City don't win this, they can't get higher than 89. It's getting ready. He introduced very shortly. Maybe getting it back with Donald Miller. He's made some sparkling saves. Potentially the chance. Just stretched it. He got the touch that he wanted. Wilson on the inches away. Gonzalez. It's Bernardo Silva. So corner flag needing a little bit of support. It's lost out to O'Reilly. Semenyo aiding the cause, and then Gonzalez will make it well. Rodri. Spurs increasingly being ending inside their own defensive third.
It's been saying Candy there.
It's a lovely ball in from Gavey. It's a run by Nunes. Little more, but going to touch on it. Strongly. So Spurs were going to be able to pick it away, but it would have been all Gavey, just about the only man back defending. Spurs couldn't pick the pass. City will come again with O'Reilly. Silva. The second time on City in a hurry to get on with it, but they will actually make the change first. They are. Silva off and Foden on.
Silva. His way off the pitch. ever more desperate, isn't it, for Manchester City? They're pushing hard to try and find a winner. It's getting deeper and deeper. They're trying to make life difficult for Destiny and Nottingham. Lines with the delivery. Now, was he dragged to the floor as that came in? Let's have a look. His arms around him. Couldn't drag a shank. So much going on in there for the referee to spot. Mancity had his right arm all the way around the midriff of Haaland, but VAR has told Rob Jones that the contact was before the ball was played. How good's he been, Dominic Solanke, today? He looks as though he's running on empty right now, but how important has he been today? Just shows how much they've missed him with him being out the side. Brilliant improvised finish. Even he couldn't quite believe it with that reaction. A quite stunning goal. Quite stunning comeback. This player has been bedeviled by injury, as so many of his teammates have been as well. Doesn't look as though Solanke's going to have to come off. They will be bringing on Junai Byfield for his Premier League debut. Some striker over the which tells you everything you need to know about Thomas Frank's mindset from here. Made a real impression, particularly in the second half. Two goals. Score rate, phenomenal. He does start the press really for Spurs. He's got to do some work again tonight. And that's not gone down well. 8 weeks past his 17th birthday, Junai Byfield is on his off the bench the last couple of Champions League games. Primarily a centre half, but big in midfield here. Simons. Goal side of him. Saar. Byfield. Byfield again. It's on a yellow card. This was an earlier challenge that he made on Conor Gallagher as well, just 30 seconds or so ago. It's a high boot, wasn't it? From the referee. So, set off for 2026. Marching orders for a couple of quick gallows against Burdick Lift in the Champions League.
is able to tap. But he believe it. City are going to make that change, and Rodri, who's been walking that yellow card tightrope so precariously in the last couple of minutes, is being taken off here before he gets himself sent off.
The first one, Gallagher did catch it with a high boot. There's one fraction after that as well, not as much in that one. Tackle on Gallagher could have been a potential yellow.
So Marmouche has come on for him. Lost possession, and here's the pacey on there. Scott was deceptively quick himself. Then, but really well. Spurs throw. This will be a third successive second half of the Premier League match in which City haven't had a shot on target. It's Town.
Stays like this, on win in their last 6 Premier League games, but it's only one defeat, but it's not exactly a sign of champions.
6 for them, that's one. Spurs were in their last half, does he? Their response, 1:45 minutes. He's pressed the card down and suggests that he's playing to the same sermon himself. Back behind them, 4 minutes left. Dragoshin. Tells inside the penalty area, but they can find him or Udogi, and City again able to bring it away. Taking it forward, not in alacrity. Has got Phil Foden coming forward in space on the edge of the penalty area. Salah knocks it away. Still high by Foden. Foden, I beg your pardon. Haaland coming round the back. Margay. Salas for Nunes. Gay. Again. Opening here. Time is against them. Semenyo. Playing wider now that Marmouche has come on.
Having to be patient because Spurs are so deep, there's no space, no gaps.
Reinders O'Reilly deflected into the hands of Vicario. Slightly unorthodox kick from Spurs Italian keeper.
Two minutes for either side to try and find a winner. You feel as though it's more important for Man City.
Scorpio's lost out. Free kick and a yellow card as Nico Gonzalez is the recipient. We've got 90 seconds to find the goal. Maintain the status quo at the top of the Premier League. At the moment, Arsenal's lead is being extended from 4 points to 6.
Still got to play each other yet, haven't they? City. Trying to take the ball back. It's rather the last opportunity for either side. Too long from Gonzalez. It's definitely 2 points dropped, isn't it, for Manchester City, particularly at half time, such a commanding lead. But they go on and win this game easily. As it is, Tottenham have shown character, much better in the second period, and that man was responsible for their comeback. 2 goals for Dominic Solanke, an outstanding performance from him. Some comeback, inspired by Dominic Solanke's second half brace. It's a performance at half time that seemed as though it could spell the end of the road on the side of the lane, but some frank words inspired a fight back that might see a corner turn for Spurs. And front, a decisive chapter in the title race as Manchester City blow the chance to get back within 4 points of Arsenal. Some weekend for the Gunners, big win for them. Villa losing, City blowing a 2-0 lead, and with 13 games of the season to go, head knows that this might be slipping away. It's finished here, Spurs 2, Manchester City 2.
Well, extraordinary. That man made sure that was a game of 2 halves, as Tottenham take a point from 2 down to 2-2, and Manchester City drop 2 points and miss the opportunity to go back within 4 of Arsenal. As Tim was saying, Arsenal are the real winners this weekend because they won conquered their leads. City 2 up, take back to 2-2, and Villa with 11 men, losing at home to 10 men. Brentford earlier on today. So Villa still 7 behind Arsenal, and the lead from Mikel Arteta's side over Pep Guardiola's is 6 points in the title race. 24 played. You just wonder, Julian, how damaging that could be to your former club.
Yeah, I think it is damaging. Obviously, the points are extended for Arsenal, but just the way they performed in the second half, I think that myself probably thought Spurs could have played their game through what they did. Fully deserved to get back into it. Maybe that's like, I know 2-0 looks comfortable. City are fragile defensively. Should have given it.
For Arsenal, 4 times in 6 games that both Villa and City have failed to win, close the gap on them. But what about for that man, Michael Thomas Frank, the turnaround? What will it do for him?
Yeah, unbelievable, because obviously after the first half he must have been fearing for everything, for his job, for the result, for the players, for the scoreline. It could have been anything. I said at half time, this game could be 3, 4 or 5 if it continues the way it was, but it didn't. It was changes. They took their captain off at half time, which was an interesting one. Still to hear whether there was an injury there or whether it was tactical. And then Solanke stepped up. I'm not quite sure that it was his first goal, but anyway, it was given to him. And a quite incredible second goal. And then all of a sudden, the Tottenham crowd started believing, started getting behind their team. And it was a proper Tottenham performance in that second half. That's so frustrating if you're a Manchester City fan. And yeah, everybody seems to be wanting to hand the title to Arsenal this weekend.
It's certainly gone their way. Spurs far, far happier with that drawn outcome. So that means we are 9 games into this Premier League weekend. One still to come, of course, in the Monday Night Football. And as I say, after the draw at Brighton late on for Everton in the 97th minute, that 4-0 comfortable statement win at Ellen Road for Arsenal on Saturday. Victories for Bournemouth, the turnaround for Chelsea, and indeed Liverpool winning, having been behind for the first time in this Premier League season. Then today, the 11 of Villa losing to the 10 of Brentford at home, back-to-back home defeats for the first time since February 2024. Manchester United were 2 at Packback, 2-2 at home to Fulham, and then in the 93rd minute, Benjamin Šeško winning for Michael Carrick. 3 out of 3 for him. Again, 10 men Forest get a point against Crystal Palace. And of course, we just watched Manchester City throw away a 2-goal lead to draw 2-2 at Spurs. We'll be back with the Monday Night Football and final words. Sunderland at home to Burnley. Now the big home record on the line. Well, it could have been 4, but it is 6 and 7 the lead for Arsenal over City and Villa, respectively. Another missed opportunity for Manchester City and Aston Villa this weekend. What a weekend for the league leaders, Arsenal, and indeed for Manchester United, like Chelsea.